Hey, good morning, good day, everyone. So once again, welcome to AZ300 Active Directory session. I hope I'm audible and it's been loud and clear to everyone. Requesting to confirm through chat option. So requesting the members to confirm the audio through the chat options. Mean Surag, it's been clear or
Yes,
okay. So yesterday we were discussing about a topic called Active Directory. So yesterday we covered about importance of an Active Directory and infrastructure, how Active Directory has been started and how Active Directory has been using on in a on-premises scenario. Then we started comparing with the uh, latest technology that's a cloud. In a cloud, how we are going to use Active Directory, what are the options been available on in a Microsoft Azure product. So right now we understood like if you're using a Microsoft Azure or in a cloud, we have an option of using three mode of Active Directory. One, it's been like if you're using an Active Directory on in a cloud, by default, when you created an account, automatically there is a tenant and there is an account that's been created. Second option we understood like if you're working in an organization where you have a number of objects has been already has been created, and if you want to integrate with your existing on-premises data center or a data room, you have option of going a hybrid mode. So with the help of a hybrid mode, you can able to connect to hybrid connectivity. With the help of a hybrid connectivity, you can able to connect to the on-premises data center or a data room. So that's the one option we have. So we understood like when you're using a on-premises data center or a data room, we are using a concept of AD connect. This basically like you are in a customer place, the customer want to push all the identity management or they want to synchronize all the identity management available on in on premises. That kind of a situation you can able to go for a hybrid mode. Then the second point we have learned, there are some situation if the customer don't want to do a lift and shift upgradation of your DC into a Azure Active Directory due to a security reason or due to security attributes issues. If they want to retain your existing Active Directory, you can able to use another option called Azure ADDS. This basically like you are installing an Active Directory on in a server, and with the help of that, you are synchronizing or promoting that server as a domain controller, and we are doing. So that's the way the Active Directory has been configured. Yesterday we have done one more options here. We have configured an Active Directory on in a Microsoft Azure VM. So there are two cases we've been considered. One, it's been like you already created an account. Right now we understood like there is a tenant is been created for you, and we have learned one more thing like when you're using Azure Active Directory, EAD has been coming in a 4 editions. This has been free account, premium one, Microsoft 365, or a premium two. Now by default, all the Active Directory has been like if you're using a free account, by default it's been configured as in a free account. So based on what is the customer feature is required, based on that you may have an option for converting to a different editions. Like you can able to go for a P1 or a P2 different version. You can able to use it here. So this generally it's used to do in the directory option. Like you can go to a directory tool from there the product tab. You can able to convert or it's mean you can able to upgrade here. So that lab also already we have done. Then yesterday we have done a couple of other simulations and exercise also. The first exercise we have done it's like we have created a physical ADDS. So we have a ADDS currently it's been available there, and domain name we have been provided is been apple.com, and we have a Azure tenant also it's been available on in the portal. it's in a cloud. You have a AD account also, it's been seen. Now, right now we have learned two portions here. The first learning we had yesterday, it's been like the moment when you created any user account in a cloud, for example, like I have created a user account called Debug, or I have created a user account Jacob. We have seen an option yesterday while creating a user account like Debug or a Jacob. Once the user account it's been created, when I try to log in with this account, I'm not able to see all the resources has been currently configured on in the portal. That is the one learning yesterday we had, because during the discussion or we had a debate yesterday and we understood like why the user is been not able to access this one. The reason was that the account which you created on in Azure, that user account or identity management is not got sufficient permission. That's the reason we are not able to log in, or that particular user is not able to access any resource on in the portal. That is the first learning yesterday we had. Now, how to give a permission, we'll be discussing today with the help of a concept called RBAC. So with the help of a concept called RBAC, RBAC stands for role-based access control. How to give a permission or how to give a configuration on in the portal. So that we'll be discussing through the with the help of a RBAC. Second lab we have done, I have created another user account here in the on-premises AD, for example, like a Sachin. If I'm logging to this computer using this username and password, we understood like the authentication has been happening on a on-premises DZ and we are able to log in. But the moment when I try to connect to Azure Active Directory, in Azure Active Directory, I'm not able to log in. The moment when you given a username and password, uh, we are getting an error message saying that the particular username and password has been not valid. The reason it's been like whatever identity currently it's been created, that identity information was holded by your on-prem ADDS, and this information has been not available in AD Connect. That's the reason yesterday we are not able to communicate, or we are not able to log into the AD Connect, or we are not able to log into the Azure portal here. So right now we are going to do a couple of labs here, and the topics today's topic is called RBAC. So the topic currently we are going to discuss today it's called RBAC. RBAC stands for role-based access control. So the topic currently we are going to discuss something called role-based access control. How we can able to configure a permissions on in a portal, or how we can able to create a permission to a different user account. That is the lab currently we are going to discuss here. Give me a minute time. Let me connect to the Azure portal. I've been connected, and in between browser is got disconnected. So I need to re-enter. Give me a second here. Give me a second here. Let me enter the details here. I hope you can able to see the cloud portal here. Now, right now we have been connected to the cloud portal here. Before doing a lab, let me create a few resource group here for understanding this exercise in a easy way. Let me create a few resource group here. Right now you can able to see there is a one resource group has been available here. Let me create one more resource group here. Give me a second. I'm just giving another resource group called SE300, or let me give an user code orange or marketing department. Let me create a right now the one resource group has been created. Right now you can able to see there is a two VM is been available. Let me create one more VM. Before that, yeah, let me create one more VM here. In the market department, I'm just creating VM3. Right now, the validation has been completed, and we are creating a couple of resource account here. Right now, the deployment is in progress here. Right now, the deployment of a VM is in progress here. For doing this exercise, we are creating a couple of resources here. You don't need to give for daily attendance in case if you have been already filled. First day attendance has been sufficient. You don't need to go for again submitting attendance. In case if you have been missed to attend, submit your attendance yesterday, the link can be used. So whoever has been already registered, no point of resubmitting your attendance. But please ensure that we are marking an attendance. So please ensure that tomorrow also you are attending the session. So right now you can able to see the VM creation is in progress here. Let's wait. So right now the topic we are discussing is called RBAC. That's called a role-based access control. Right now on the screen. Right now on the screen, you may be able to see here. You can able to see there are three VM has been created here. You can able to see there is a three VM has been created. On the screen, you may be able to see like there is a DC server and there is a on-premises server and you have a VM has been created here. So there is a three VM you can able to see and you can able to see there is a three resource group also can able to see. One it's been like a cloud batch, market, and there is a network watch service also it's been placed here. You can able to see there is a three um, resource group also is in place here. So we have a 3 resource group also is in place here. So let me go back to the whiteboard here. So if you go back to whiteboard, you may be able to see we have a subscription has been available here. I'm just giving a subscription name has been free account. In a free account, we have done a couple of actions. We have created a 2 resource group, cloud batch, and another resource group is been we have provided is called market. Now inside a cloud batch, we have created 2 VMs here. In the cloud batch, I have been created 2 VMs. One VM we are given it's been like a DC VM, and another VM we are given it's been like a on-prem VM. On in the market department, we have created a another VM called VM3. So this is the overall top view of existing infrastructure. Currently, it's been created on in the portal. So you have a 2 resource group. So this is your resource group. This is your resource group. And if you are taking this, this is your subscription. And if you are taking this, all these are generally known as resource. So on DC VM is one resource. You have on-premise another resource, and you have a VM3 is another resource. Let me go back to the portal here. You may be able to see the same or similar options here. Hello. I think in between the network got flat. So right now on in the portal, you may be able to see here, you have a 2 resource group is in place. You can able to see there is a 2 resource group. You have a cloud batch and you have a market. Now you have a 3 VM is in place. It's been created in two different resource group. One is in a cloud batch and another one is been created in the market one. Now, if you go back to the all resources tab, you may be able to see there are many resources has been already created inside this one. You may be able to see like along with your VM already in the Azure administration session, we understood like there are many resources been created like a network security group or a public IP address or a disk and many components has been created along with your VM. So right now you can able to see there are many resources here. Now that's about the overall resource or a resource group or a subscription part. Unfortunately, I have only one subscription only. It's been currently is in place here. So right now we are going to discuss about a topic called role-based access control. How permissions is being provided inside in a cloud. Now for doing this lab, let me create a couple of user account here. I think already we have a user account has been created yesterday. I remember like we have been created a user account called Jacob yesterday. So there is a user account that's been created yesterday that's called Jacob here. So I think yes, Jacob is the user account we've been created here. Now let me try to log in with the user account called Jacob here. Let me log in with the user account Jacob here. Give me a second. So right now on the screen, you may be able to see we are trying to log in with a user account called Jacob. So you may be seeing here, there is a Jacob is the one user account we have created inside the Active Directory. So Active Directory, you have a user account that's been created here. Now, let me try to log in with a user account called Jacob here. Let me give you this credential. Let me provide details here. I'm just providing the details which we entered yesterday. We already created an account. So right now, since Jacob account has been created here, Jacob has been able to log in here. But on the home screen, he is not able to see any resource. You may be already seeing like we have created a 3 VMs, we have a 2 resource group, and the user is been not able to see anything here. See, so when I go to all resources, nothing is been displaying here. When I go inside a resource group, nothing is been displaying here. If I'm going to the VM also, nothing has been displaying here. So the reason was it's like user account has been created as a normal user and we have not assigned any permission or there is no role is been assigned to this user. So by default, there are two type of the user account. Basically, it's been coming on in a cloud. One is called a global admin. Global admin is something like a user with a domain admin or an enterprise kind of a admin kind of a permission. You may be remembering like in a on-premises servers, you had a concept of enterprise admin, right? Enterprise admin means that the person who got that permission is got a complete permission on in the network. So similar kind here also, you may be able to see there is a user account called something called a global admin. Global admin is always having a superpower or it's been like a complete power for that and their infrastructure. So right now this user is been acting like a normal user and there is no permission is been provided. That's the reason when the user is been Mr. Jacob is been connected to the server and the moment when the Jacob is been connected here, he is not able to see any of this resource. The reason is been like there is no permission has been assigned. Now, right now we are going to discuss how Jacob can able to give this permission here. So this is basically done with the help of a concept called RBAC, that called a role-based access control. So if you're taking a Microsoft Azure, there are 3 levels you can able to configure here. One, you can able to configure in a individual resource level. Second one, it's be like this can be configured in a resource group level. RJ stands for resource group level, and this can be able to configure in a subscription level. So right now you need to understand when you are assigning a permission, this permission can be assigned in a individual resources level, or this can be configured. I'm saying like can be configured in a individual resource level, or from the resource group level you can assign, or this can be assigned from a subscription level also. Now let's try to understand how resource level, if I'm for giving a permission, how technically this has been assigned. So let me take an example here. Let me give a permission to VM3. Right now I'm giving a permission to VM3. I'm saying like Jacob can only access VM3 here. Now let's try to see how we can able to assign this permission. So for doing this RBAC, let me go back to the portal here. I'm just connecting to the portal here. Now in the portal, let me go back to the, let me go to the admin account, not on into the Jacob account. Let me go to the virtual machines here. In the virtual machine, you may be able to see already all the virtual machine has been configured here, or it's been showing here also. So let me connect to the VM3 here. On in the VM3, I selected the properties here. You may be able to see an option called access control here. On in the portal, you may be able to see an option called access control. So you can able to see the access control. It's been giving a permission here. So in the IAM properties, if you are selecting IAM, give add button, and you may be able to see there is another box is been coming. So click on the add role assignment. So this is the option generally we are using for giving a permission. The moment when you given a permission, you may be able to see there is a couple of options are populated here. Something like a owner permission, something called a contributor permission. You can able to see something called a reader permission also. Let me select an option called reader here. So from the name itself, you may be able to understand reader. Reader means that who is got this permission, he can only read that permission. He can able to read that resource. He will not have any write permission, or he will not in a Azure point of view, he will not able to make any kind of a modification on in the portal. I can able to see there is a chat message on in the Teams. It's not visual here. Request all the rest of the members, like, are we able to see the screen right now? We are inside a portal.azure.com. Can one or two people can just confirm through the chat option? Are we able to see the screen? Because in my secondary monitor, this has been working. Yes. So look like it's an issue from look like it's a technical issue in your site. So if you can reconnect your Teams, this issue may resolve. So requesting you to reconnect it. Yeah. Thank you, team, for confirming. So right now on the screen, we are, few people are commenting on the chat, not able to see, but I think majority of the members are able to see the screen. Even my secondary monitor also, I can also able to see the screen and audio also, it's been coming properly. So if any member, if you are not able to see the screen, refresh the Teams or reconnect to the team. This may be some issue with your team. So request you today or reconnection or this one, because I already Ariel, Lim, and Zervul, all its people has been confirmed. It's been working here. So lucky, I think requesting you to reconnect it. This may be an issue from the team side. This is a general issue. We used to see it during the session. If I have a large audience, it's maybe some glitch with the DMs. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Right now we are discussing about a option called a reader permission. So right now we understood, in case if you have a multiple resource or a resource group is been configured in a network, how we can able to assign a permission. So right now we understood the moment when you are given a resource level, we are getting a many other options also inside that. So one of the permissions right now we are able to see, it's called a reader permission here. So the moment when you select a reader permission, from the name itself, you may be able to understand reader is something like whoever has got this permission, he can only read it. He will not get any kind of a modification permission. Let's give this permission to Mr. Jacob and let's see how practically this has been applied. So I've been selected an option called reader. I give an option called next. And from this tab, this is the place where you can able to select how do you need to apply this one? Is it needs to be assigned on in a group level, or do we need to assign on in an individual user level? So I've been selected an option called members here. From this member tab, if I've selected, you may be able to see this has been displaying all the members has been currently configured on in the portal. So I've been selected an option called Jacob here. I've been selected an option called Jacob. I'm saying like Jacob, I need to give a reader permission to a user called Jacob here. So Jacob option has been already selected here in the bottom. You can able to see. I'm giving select. So I've been selected a user code select and I given review and assign here. So I given permission called reader permission to Jacob here. So let's wait for that. So let's wait for assigning a permissions on cloud. Service principle is nothing similar like a Safur. You may be remembering like when we were working on in a Windows servers, you maybe heard about a service account, right? This is basically like if you want to execute a particular action, especially like when you have a SQL cluster and all, you may be remembering like we were using a concept of service account. So that same service account only service principle link. So it's a similar one. The same action is like it's been performed in Azure with the help of a service principle. Right now on in the portal, you may be able to see a user has been created here. Uh, when the user account is been created on in the portal on in a Microsoft here, user is been created user account here. So and permission is being given. Now I can able to see there is a uh, comment from Mr. Robert. What about dynamic admin? Uh, are you referring a term called dynamic AD membership? Dynamic is AD is the I'm not aware about a dynamic admin because we have a only the concept available in Azure called Azure AD dynamic group. This basically like automatically resource or a user or administrator has been added to a group. That is a kind of a option has been available. Something like AD dynamic group. There is no option of dynamic admin. We have an option of dynamic Azure AD uh, dynamic group membership. This basically like in case if you want to add any automatically if there is any user is been created automatically if you want to add to a particular department that has been done with the help of this. Anyway, let's go back to the topic here. Right now, we have a user Jacob is been created. Jacob is got a reader permission here. Now, let me go back to a user account Jacob here. Jacob is already logged in here, but right now he's not able to log in. You are not able to see anything. So let me sign out and sign in again with the same user account. Let me create it here. Let's wait a few minutes for that. I'm just creating a user account here. So let me wait. So I'm just entering the user account here, details here. Let me log into the system here. Previously, Mr. Jacob was not able to access anything on in the portal. Right now, I'm just creating a user account and just creating a able. I'm logging to the portal here. Let's wait. It's been taking a few minutes here. Right now, Jacob is been logged in. The screen is been loading here. Let's wait. Jacob is been able to configure it in a portal here. So let's wait for that. So right now I got a comment on in the chat. What is the difference between global admin and enterprise admin? So core is basically both this concept has been coming on in a two syntax. Global admin is the term generally we are using on in a Azure AD kind of a scenario in a cloud scenario. So whoever is got this global administrator power, he will be able to manage, or he will be getting a I can say it's like a super admin. I can say like he can able to do anything on in the cloud portal. This basically like in case if you want to manage a user, or in case if you want to manage a group or policies or applications. So whoever is got this role, he will be able to do all these kind of actions. Enterprise admin is the similar kind of a permission or same level of access. Generally, we are getting, especially on in a um, on-premises scenario. But this basically it's been coming on in a on-premises scenario. The enterprise admin has been coming. So this both are coming on in a two different index. So I was trying to say that you may be already working on in a on-premises AD for a quite long time. So there we've been used a called enterprise admin here, but here it's been basically used a term called global admin. So that's with the help of a global admin, the permission has been configured here. Now, let me come back to this portal here. Right now, Jacob has been connected here. Jacob has been logged in. Now, on the virtual machines, right now, Jacob is able to see a VM called VM3. Even though we have been created a couple of other VMs on the portal, but Jacob has been able to see only VM3. Why Jacob has been not able to see DC server or a on-premises? What is the reason like a DC server or a on-premises details is been not showing here? Can you comment it on in the chat? From this session, what is your learning? Like why Jacob is been not able to do, or is not able to view the rest of the VM? Even you can able to see when he go back to the old resources, he is not able to see other resources here, right? He is only able to see the VM here. He is not able to get any information about networking. He is not able to get any information about public IP address. He is not able to get any other information about a network watcher or a network security group. But right now he is only able to see the VM3 here. Can you comment on in the chat? What is your learning or what is your understanding so far? Why Jacob has been not able to get the details? So we are getting few comments on in the chat. Need VM contribution role, okay? Because he's only authorized to VM2, VM3, not into the rest of the VM. It's because of right and add privilege. So waiting the rest of the members comments also, we have almost 200 plus members here, but I have received only 3 comments. Requesting the rest of the members also put your view on this, why we are not able to this one. This is a self evaluation. Let's try to answer this question, so that will give you a confidence to you. So if you can just, so far we have been discussed a topic about role based access control. Right now think and comment it on in the chat, why Jacob is only able to see VM3, why he is not able to see the other resources. So think and review it and answer it your comment on in the chat here. So we are getting few answers. That's a positive sign. Good. So waiting the maximum members to comment it on in the chat. Yeah. So because that will give you a confidence too. You may be listening this session, but if you're typing this one, this will be give you an extra more confidence to you. It's like for about this topic. So requesting everyone to comment it on the chat. Okay. Now, yes, the answer has been very simple here. The reason was it's been like we have provided only the reader permission here. That the reason rest of the resources been not able to view it, or that the reason rest of the resources been not able to uh, access it also. Now let me go back to the portal, or let me go back to the VM here. Now let me go to the VM properties here. Let me select on the VM properties. You may be able to see here, when I open this VM properties, I'm not able to see many information. See the information about public IP address has been missing here. See, this has been completely nil. See, there is no information is been showing about a virtual network. Can you comment it on the chat? why I'm not able to access a public IP address information. What is the reason behind that? Can you comment it on in the chat why Jacob is been not able to use public IP address or not able to this one? So the reason it's been like not because of a firewall, because if you take a VM properties like if I let me go back to the VM3 here, you may be able to see you have a public IP address, network, and all other components are giving. But public IP address or a virtual network, all these components are individual resources. So VM is one resource, and all public IP address or virtual network, these all are independent resource, but this has been associated with a VM. So that doesn't means if you're giving a permission to VM, you are going to get a permission to other resource as well. This may be used by VM, but that doesn't mean that it's been owned by VM, because public IP address is a separate individual resource. Network is a separate resource. But right now, the reader permission we have been assigned only to a individual resource here. So that's the reason you are not able to access here. Because if you go back to a search bar here, you may be able to see we are able to create a public IP address in a separate way, right? Public IP address is a separate resource, and this can be attached to any VM. This can be attached to any system here. So it's an individual resource here. So there is no is not a part of a VM. VM has been using this one as a dependent resource. That's the reason the user is been not able to uh, view or not getting any information about a public IP address. The reason is like we have not provided any information or we have not given any permission on in a public IP address level. Right now, you may be able to see here, Jacob has been logged in, BM3 has been able to access here. Let me reboot this over here. Let me try to restart this over here. I'm logging with the Jacob and trying for a reboot or a restart here. You may be able to see there is an error message has been populating on in the right side or in the notification area. What will be the reason behind that? Right now, you may be able to see there is a message we got. Hey, admin, you don't have any sufficient right for deleting, or you don't have any sufficient permission for rebooting a server. Let me try for stopping this VM. Let me try for stopping the VM. You may be notice here, even while stopping the VM also, I'm getting this one. So the reason was it's like the moment when you're given a reader permission, that particular user is got only access to read that resource. He don't got any permission for making any kind of a modification. Modification can be restart, or modification can be stopping a VM, or modification can be reconfiguration of this one. So here permission is been not assigned. At the reason the user is been not able to make any kind of a modification on in the portal. The moment the user is been trying to do a restart or a modification, he's not able to do anything. For example, like start we have seen, restart we have seen. The moment when you try for a resizing a VM also, you will not have any sufficient permission. So the reason it's been like um, the user is being given only with a reader permission. So right now, end of this class, you need to understand if we have given a permission on in an individual resource level, that particular user will have only permission to read or able to view the resource. So that is about the reader permission. Now, for the same user, let me go and give a contributor role here. Let me go to the main admin page. Let me go to the virtual machine here, VM3 itself. The same user, I'm going to give a contributor role here. I'm just clicking on access control and giving an add and role assignment. On the role assignment, let me give an option called a contributor permission. Give next. The same Jacob user account, it's been created here or it's been selected from here. Just created a Jacob here. Select next. So role I have been selected is a contributor one. Okay, review and assign. So right now I've been assigned instead of a contributor one, I'm providing a So instead of a reader permission, I'm assigning a contributor permission. So let's wait a minute. After that, let's go to the Jacob account here. Let me sign out and log in here. So again, otherwise you won't be applying that permission. Let me log in with the Jacob account here. Let me go to the properties here. Let me wait for a minute here. Let me create a message here. So let's create it. Let's wait for a few minutes. Now I've been logged in with the Jacob account here. Let me go to the resource group here. Now let me go to the VM here. You may be able to see the same VM only, even after providing a contributor. Be able to see here. So let me click on the VM here. Let me restart it. Let me see. So like what are the action I'm able to do it with the help of a contributor permission. Let me restart. I've been initiated a restart button here. Right now you may be able to see here. Previously, Mr. Jacob was not able to do any kind of a restart or a stopping or any kind of a modification here. You may be able to see right now Jacob is been able to do all such kind of a administrative tasks. Right now you can able to see Jacob has been initiated a restart. Restart is in progress here. So right now end of the session you need to understand if any user who got a contributor role, they will be able to do all kind of a modification. Reader, we were able to see only the view, but the moment when you any user account is being given a permission here, he is able to do all kind of a contribution role on that particular resource here. But right now you may be able to see this permission, whether it's a reader permission or whether it is a contributor permission. This permission is been assigned on in an individual VM level. That's the reason DC or a on-premises servers we are not able to view it here. So right now, end of this session, you need to understand if any user is been configured with a option is been like able to connect it or you can able to see like there is an option for getting a permission for a restart or a modification. So even if you're taking role-based access control, role-based access control can be configured resource level, resource group level, or a subscription level. Right now, we have been discussed about a resource level. So in a resource level, this permission has been again configured as owner or a contributor or a reader here. So reader and contributor right now we have been seeing. Now, if you go back to the permission here, you may be able to see you are going to get one more option. There's something called a owner permission. Owner permission means that owner, if someone has got a owner permission, he can able to assign permission to other users also. In case if you want to add a Muhammad or a Jason or a Mark or a Ariel, we can able to assign a permission to other user account also. In case if you assign a permission only to a contributor, he don't have a rights to assign a reader or a writer or owner permission to other one. He will be able to do all administrative tasks, but he will not have any rights to assign a permission to other user account. Owner means that he's going to get a complete permission for able to do all the actions on that. He'll be able to getting an ability to give a assign a permission to other user account. So right now, end of this session, you need to understand if you're giving a resource level permissions is been permitted or only to a particular resource which you've been configured on in that system. So I'm just giving a, I'm just pausing here for taking your questions. Now, I have an honor permission in my subscription, but I need to reset the password for other users. So that's been a different story, Haja. So that you need to have something called a Active Directory role. So you need to have a different concept is been coming. So you need to have a Active Directory role is being needed. So there is a different permission is been coming, different rights is needs to be provided, something called Active Directory role. With the reader permission is a user can access the VM. So for example, like your question is something like if the user is been trying to get a permission here. So the moment when you connect to a RDP, I understood, Janu, your question is been something related to the connection part. Connection is been not decided based on your reader permission or contributor permission. It's been defined by what is the type of the user account you're using at the time of a connection, because that authentication has been not happening on in the Azure level, because that authentication is generally happening in the Active Directory level, or it's been happening on in the local resource level. So this basically what is the type of the user account it's been using for connecting, based on that connection is being decided. Now, how to customize a role? Yes, we'll come back to after a break on that. How to customize a role, how to give a permission on in a resource group level or a subscription level. That topic we'll discuss. Right now, we have discussed about a how to give a permission on in a individual uh, resource level. So right now we have seen the moment when you created a permission on in a individual resource level. For example, like if I'm giving a permission on in a VM3, the particular user is been able to assign or they are able to access only this particular resource. He is not able to access any resource or any VM, or is not able to access any resource group, is not able to see anything on in the subscription level also. So typically your limit or a permission is been um, uh, coming or only it's been limited into that particular resource here. So with that note, I'm pausing here for your Q&A. Anything related to this topic, let's have a discussion. And after a small break, we'll go for a discussion about how resource group level permissions, how permissions related to the subscription has been coming to the picture. That is the next topic we are going to discuss. If you're good, and put a single comment on in the chat also, so that will give a motivation to us as well, because this whatever topic we are covering is been you are able to follow, that is the feedback, so we'll be able to get it from your side. So if you can just put a single comment on the chat, if able to, if you're clear about the concept, let's put a single comment on the chat. We are coming to that, Haja, so let's wait for a few minutes. We are not discuss about that right away we have been discuss only about a resource one. Thank you, Kenneth, for commenting on the chat. So thank you, Archie. Yeah, thank you. So let's all, if you can put a single comment on the chat, so that will give confidence to us as well. So because we all are on the same page. So only 3 people has been commented. So let's possibly in another 1 to 2 seconds, if you can just put a single comment on the chat, that's been great. Great, great. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Mehdi. Thank you, Sitara, Sumit. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's do one thing. Almost an hour now. Let's take a quick short refreshment break and come back. It's only 5 minutes, okay? Not lengthy break, because you maybe last 1 hour you are sitting on in the same stretch. So let's take a short break and come back. Okay. So we will be refreshed. and we can go for understanding about the resource group and this one. So we'll discuss about that. Okay. So let's take a 5 minutes break and come back. Thank you. Sorry, team. There was some network flap. I was just sorting it out. That is there any echo? Can you confirm the audio through the chat option? Is there any?
Yes, there is echo.
So give me a second. Uh, so let me rejoin here. Look like both
Uh-huh.
the has been getting some loop or something after reconnecting this network. Give me a second.
Sure, sure.
Is it better now?
Yes,
Okay, let me connect my second device. Jordan, we face some technical issue. It's not lagging here. This is like some echo issue we are facing in between. So we're just trying to sort it out. That just give me a second time. So the second device has been connecting here. It's not over here. In between we had a quick break for. Yeah. So I'm just connecting the second device DC. So let's wait a minute. Our team has been loading here. Surag, if you can promote the second ID, that's when we can start.
yes, it's already done.
Okay. So thank you, team. I hope all are back. Now let's go back to the whiteboard here. Right now, during the session, in the first part of the session, we have seen how permission is being assigned on in a resource level. Right now, we are going to discuss about another topic called permission on in a resource group level. So right now we have learned if you are taking a RBAC, there are three levels this can be configured: resource level, resource group level, and a subscription level also. So we have seen like in a resource level, if you're assigning a permission, the permission is be limited only to that resource here. Now let me go and give a permission on in a resource group level here. Right now on the screen, you may be able to see there are two resource group is being created here. One is been a cloud batch. This is a one resource group. Inside that, you may be able to see there are two VM has been created. One has been DC VM and second one it's been like a on-prem VM. And we have another resource group is in place. That resource group name is called a market. So the market VM has been created here, and the market VM, market resource group, there is another VM is being created, VM3. So right now, while doing this lab, let me go and give a reader permission to this resource group level. So right now I'm instead of a resource level permission, I'm going and assigning a permission on in a resource group level. Let's see if we are giving a permission on in a resource group level, technically what is happening on in the system here. Now, let me go back to the portal here. Let me go back to the resource group level here. You have a resource group is here. Now, right now this account is being logged in with a Jacob ID. Let me go to the other ID where I have got a admin permit. Let me go to the resource group here. Now, we have a resource group you can able to see here. We have created a two resource group here. One is a cloud batch and second one it's been a market one. Let me give you Let me give a reader permission to this resource group here. So the same user account Jacob I'm taking here as an example. I entered inside a resource group level here. Let me go to the portal here. Let me go back to the IAM here, resource group level. Let me go to the portal, and on in the access control part, let me give a reader permission to the resource group. So right now on in a resource group level, I'm assigning a permission to Jacob. What is the permission I'm giving? I'm giving a permissions of reader permission. Let me assign. Let me review and assign here. So Jacob has been assigned is a user. We have given a reader permission. Let's wait. Permission has been assigned to Jacob here. Let me go back to the Jacob user account. Right now the permission has been assigned. Let me go back to portal here. Let me sign out and log in it again. Let me give a permission here. Let me enter the username and password. Let me log in with the Jacob user account here. Let me go back to the portal here. You can able to see the user account has been available here. Now Jacob user account it's been able to see. If I'm going to resource group level, you may be able to see Jacob has been able to see the resource group where we are given a reader permission, right? Right now you may be able to see resource Jacob has been able to see a reader permission here, something called a cloud batch. This is the resource group we have been created. Now, when we go to virtual machine, you may be able to see all the VM which has been created under a cloud batch container, because VM3 we are given an individual permission. That the reason it's showing, but you may be able to see all the VM which has been hosted under cloud batch. It's been listing here right now. You can able to see it's been the VM has been created here. You can able to see it's been created on the portal here. So you can able to see this DC server or a on-premises server. It's been created here right now. You can able to see this both VM has been configured here. Now, if you go to all resources here, in the all resources tab, you will be able to see all the resources currently part of a cloud batch. See, so technically, if you're giving any permission on in a resource group level, this typically inheriting all the properties or all the permissions onto the all the resources been configured on in the bottom one. So that is the advantage, or that is the permissions which you are going to get it inside this one. Right now you can able to see there is a permission is been assigned here, and you can able to see this option is been available on top of this one. I hope this point has been clear to everyone here. Now, right now we are given a reader permission. Let's try for one of the VM here. Let me try to restart a computer here. If I'm trying to restart a permission here, you may be able to see the user is getting a message here, right? You may be able to see like the moment when you um, log in, or the moment when you configured here, automatically uh, the user is getting or inherited the reader permission on in the individual resource as well, right? Right now you can able to user is able to getting a permission, or the user is been able to get a individual permission, or it's been able to get a permission on into the individual resource level itself. Like he's not able to do any kind of actions here. For example, like if the user has been trying to access the second one, for example, like if he's trying to do any kind of a stop or action, so that kind of option you can able to see here. Now, Jainul has been asking a different question. Is it possible to add a one VM on in a multiple resource group? No, Jainu. So if you're taking a resource group permissions or a resource group properties at a time, is not a VM alone. Any resource which has been created inside or in a resource group can be part of only one resource group at a time. So you cannot have a multiple. You cannot have a same resource existing in more than one group. That is been not possible. So at a time, one resource, whether it's a VM or a firewall or a storage account or any resource, generally that can be possible only part of only one resource group. And second point you can remember, once you created a resource group, you will not have any option for renaming also. For example, like you created a resource group called cloud batch. After creating a one, you may be thinking like instead of this resource cloud batch, you may have to go for an alternate name. Then that option is being not available. So uh, hosting a same VM on a multiple resource group, something like a nesting kind of thing is not possible. Like one resource group cannot be part of another resource group. That is not possible. Or one resource can be part of only one resource group at a time. And you cannot have any option for renaming a resource group also. But at any point of time, generally, if you are connecting to your question, for example, like you created a resource group, resource on in a resource group. In case if you want to move it, you can able to use it. For example, like this VM, after a deployment, you are thinking like you want to move to another resource group, you can go to the VM properties. You may be able to see an option called move option here, right? You may be able to see an option called move button here. You can click on this move, then to a different subscription or a different resource group or a different region, you can able to move it. Or there is another tool available on in a portal called Azure Resource Mover. There is a tool you can able to see. With the help of this tool also, you can able to move in case at any point of time. If you're thinking like you want to change your source and destination, or if you want to change your resource group on in a portal, then you can able to use this one. So with the help of this one, you can able to move between a different region or a resource group or a I hope it's been clear to you now. Is it better? Yeah, thank you. Now, right now you maybe notice here, you have a given a permission on in a resource group level. So if you go back to the portal here, now if you go back to the whiteboard, right now we have provided a permission on in a resource group level. So technically what happened, if you're given a permission on in a resource group level, right now you've been assigned a permission on in a cloud batch. So automatically all this permission has been inherited, right? So all this resource group also it's been able to get this permission. So automatically this has been inherited to the rest of the members also. You can able to see this has been inherited to the rest of the VMs as well. Now, right now we have given a reader permission. For example, like if you have provided a contributor or a one premises, or it's like, sorry, owner permission or a contributor, this option is been automatically inherited to the rest of the members as well. So right now you can able to see this is a permission is been given here. Now, any questions from anyone? So I hope it's been clear about how to give a permission on in a resource group level. For example, like if you want to perform any action, instead of reader permission, you may have to go to the properties here and you have to give a permission of reader here. For example, like a contributor or owner permission, you can able to configure here. For example, like you can go to the resource group level and go to the particular resource group and the properties, you can able to give additional permissions here, right? You have option for owner or a contributor can be selected here. Now, in case if you configured a permission on in a subscription level, for example, like if you entered into a subscription here, and in the subscription level, if you go inside a subscription level, now if you go to the subscription level and given an access control, now in the access control, you are given a role assignment, and if you're given a permission on in a subscription level, for example, like I given an individual user, for example, like the same Jacob I have been selected from here. So let me set Jacob here, review and assign. Right now the permission has been assigned. So right now if I'm, let me go back to the Jacob account here. Let me go back to the portal here. Let me go back to the portal here. Let me give us password. Right now, you may be able to see. Right now, we are given a permission on in a subscription level here. Let me go to the subscription level here. Let me log in. Right now, you can able to see here. If you go to resource group, you may be able to see all the resource group is been listing here. The reason it's been like, if you're given a permission on in a subscription level, this will be inherited into all the resource group as well as the resource level. Means if you are given a permission on in a subscription level here, automatically this will be, for example, like if you have given a permission on in a subscription level, automatically this has been given permission on into resource group. So this will be displaying all the resource group which has been created inside this one. You can able to see all the resource group is been listing here, and you can able to see all the resources also will be able to see it from here. So this is the way the permission is been selected here. So in case if you are giving a permission on in a subscription level, all resource group will be getting, and if you are giving a resource group level, all the resources inside that will be getting a permission. If you are giving only in the resource level, this only given permission only in a resource level. So this about the RBAC. So RBAC is basically in a Azure Active Directory scenario, this will be configured in a governance side. Now, someone has been asked like, in case if I need to configure any kind of a custom rule, is there any kind of a option is been available? So we got some question on in the chat before the break. In case if you want to configure some custom rule here, you can go to the properties here. So go to the resource group here. For example, like in case if you want to configure any custom rule, go to the resource group level or in a subscription level. Uh, Select on the access control here. Now on the properties, when you select a add option, you may be able to see an option called add custom role here. You may be able to, you will be getting an option called add custom role. For example, like only to a particular user or a particular department if you want to give, for example, like HR department. Now select on HR department here. Now from you will be getting like if you want to already clone the role or if you want to start from a scratch, select it. Now here you can able to add a permission. For example, like I need to give a particular user only a particular action, like that user has been only allowed to do a printer rebooting or a server restart or a power. So any kind of a act, such kind of action, if you want to configure some micromanagement or like if you want to do one in the portal, you can able to select it from here. For example, like if you go to the properties here, right now if you go to Microsoft compute here, if you go to compute here, for example, like um, compute, if you go to a, if you select a option called properties here, you may be able to see, if you go to properties here, you can able to, you can able to see there is a lot of options you may be able to see, right? There is option like you can able to see you can able to see there is an option here like a read, write, access, all these option you can able to see here. For example, like read, write, access, all this permission. For example, like VM level itself, you may be having a different option has been available. Like in a VM level itself, you may be having a n number of right? For example, like you have a option has been available. Uh, if you want to configure it to a particular user, for example, like we have a Robert is been available. Robert is been need to have only a set of permission to be configured. For example, like Robert is been only allowed to change the IP address, or Robert is been only allowed to change a particular set of a configuration. Such kind of action, is it possible? It's been with the help of a custom rule. In case if you want to configure such kind of a limited or a micromanagement kind of a rule, if you want to configure with the help of an option here. Now, for example, like this basically can be configured in a option like with the help of a permissions here. For example, like if you want to configure a password reset. So this kind of things, if you want to configure, that you can able to configure with the help of a options here. For example, like if you want to configure a privilege access like a permission option, if you want to configure that, you can able to configure it here. So password reset only for a particular use, so that you can able to configure it here. Let me take a, so for example, like in a so for example, like if you want to configure something like a Robert is asking like a, for a particular option to be configured to a particular user, Robert, in that kind of a situation, you may have to go to the user account. For example, like you have a Active Directory has been available here. For example, like if you go to a user account, go to user account. Now in the user account, you can able to go something called something called some option called not the password reset. You may be able to see something called roles here. So you may be able to see user account. What is your the user account? Yeah, let me take a user account check up here. Robert, this answering to your question, like you have an option called assign the role. So there is a concept is available on in a portal, is something called um, uh, basically called assign the role. So here you can able to configure some administrative task. For example, like if you want to move a user as a particular actions, so that kind of things you can able to configure it here. For example, like a password administrator. Right now, answering to Robert your question, if want a particular user is been allowed only for doing a password reset kind of a route, you may be able to see we need to go to that particular user or a group, and you need to assign something called a administrative role. That's basically known as AD role. So you need to go to a configure a permission called AD role. With the help of AD role, you can able to configure here. So you can select an option called admin password administrator. You can able to assign this one. Now the user will be able to do an option called a password administration here. So this is the way generally the option is being configured on in a portal, like in case if you want to configure on in a Azure, like if there is a particular administrative role, because the user may be having a many roles it's been available, right? If you want to configure a particular user as a any kind of a exchange role or any kind of a option needs to be configured, that you can able to configure it here. So this basically data action is basically like in case if you're using a data bricks or a you maybe heard about a Synapse analytics tool or a data factory. That kind of a situation will be using that option, data action tab. So this basically it's been a data action cab is basically using data custom data action role. So I'm just given that procedure for you. So this may be able to help you in case if you want to use this. This step core you can able to use. I just pasted the step here. So in case if you want to use it, you can able to use it here. So this is the option you can able to use it here. Yeah, owner is required any kind of a permission on in the portal here. So like in case if you want to configure any kind of a permission, you can able to go for the owner. Owner is having a permission only into the particular resource. So I hope you are good with this concept now. Any questions? Owner also needed Najmuddin password reset. A global admin will have a permission for password reset. For example, like Najmuddin is the one user is been available, and if you are trying to create a password reset, by default you won't be allowed. So you need to give additional administrative power. So RBAC or a resource group or a resource or a subscription level permission, that's not an administrative role, right? So that needs to be provided. Right now you can able to see there are many roles been available here. With the help of that, you can able to configure that one. So you can able to have an option is been available. With the help of that, you can able to configure it. So with the help of that, you may be able to configure it, the permissions. So I hope it's been this concept has been clear to everyone. This is basically in Microsoft Azure Active Directory. This is basically using as a kind of what we can say. It's been like a kind of a governance, kind of a solution. It's in Azure. So basically, like a governance model, it's been provided with the help of RBAC. So with the help of RBAC, you will be able to configure this kind of a permission on in the portal. Now, I hope you are good with this topic here. Now, how AD is been configured or how the user is been given with the permissions here. If you're good, can you comment it on in the chat? So this presentation for this one, I'll upload it in the Discord link. So that will help you to, yeah. So the presentation related to that, so we can able to do. Basically, Najmuddin, we'll have many tools are available on in the Microsoft portal. Like for AD side, we'll be using a AD Connect is one of the tool basically we are using. So like on-premises AD to a client migration. If you want to use or to Azure AD migration generally, we are using with the help of a AD tool. So there are many tools are available. One of the commonly used tool for AD migration is like is a AD Connect is one of the tool we are using. So basically, this has been using for a synchronization one. So whatever user account Najmuddin it's been created on a Azure ADDS, that will be synced with the help of a AD Connect tool. So that will allow us to do any kind of a synchronization on in a basically for a connecting to a Microsoft on this one. There are many tools are available. Like if you want to get that details here. So 1 second. Give me a second. So any questions from, yeah, please share one more tool which a final cut over. Yeah, let me get it that so that detail. So for example, like give me a second. I think have some tool handy has been available with me. Give me a second, Najmuddin. Let me go to my portal here. Just give me a second. Identify migration tool. So Najmuddin, I'll get it for tomorrow because right now it's been not showing on in my handy on my screen on in the sheet. Possible like Ajmuni, I can able to give you a couple of tools tomorrow during the tomorrow session. So one of the tool commonly we are using AD Connect one because my look like my OneNote is been not synced and it's not showing that link here. So maybe I need to just go back and check where this detail has been not populated. I'll get it tomorrow itself. Okay. Yeah. Now let me go back to the scenario here. Right now we understood like how permission is being configured on in Azure. So we have seen how user is being able to connect to a portal here. Now let me give you a scenario here. We are working for a client. Yes, I agree with Najmuddin here. Basically, the identity synchronization is one of the key, or it's one of the backbone activity we are doing. So this is one of the critical one. If your Active Directory is not synchronized or it's been not configured, your organization is going to affect the entire organization here. Now, let me give you a scenario here. We have implemented a on-premises AD in your organization. I'm just giving a scenario here. We have a on-premise AD is been available. You have a name is given called apple.com. Now we already have a, I remember like already we had a AD has been configured. So we are going to create a couple of user account here. You may be seeing like yesterday, the moment when you created user account debug or it's been configured Najmuddin or Sachin, I'm not able to use this user account on in a cloud infrastructure. So the reason it's been like all of us is already understood the moment when you do a authentication on in a on-premise AD, uh, that authentication or validation is been happening on in the on-premise AD itself. So it's not allowing us to do a migration or it's not allowing us to connect to a cloud portal here. Now, how to do a synchronization here? That may be another question the customer maybe is asking you. Like instead of using a another creation of a user account or account on in the portal, is there any kind of a option for configuring on in a portal here? So that basically it's been configured with the help of a concept in a portal. It's basically when you configured a option on in a Microsoft portal, like how to synchronize this options on in a cloud. Uh, that generally are done with the help of a concept called AD Connect. So the reason it's been like you have a user account in a Microsoft site, basically like you have a um, couple of user account is been created here. Now you may be already aware here when you go back to a AD normal on-premises AD. Let me take you into AD properties here. Let me connect to one of the AD server which is currently it's been configured on in the server here. Let me power on one of this server here. So I remember which one. Yes, I think DC server was working yesterday, right? Let me connect to that server. Let me power on that. Let me power on the DC server. So right now this information has been power on. We are powering on the first server here. So let's wait. Let's wait for a minute. Let's wait a minute for here. So the DC server has been powered on. So right now you can able to see it's been running here. Let me connect to this server here. So let me connect to this server here. I'm just connecting to this DC server, which is being currently configured here with a domain here. Right now you can able to see we are connecting to the DC server here. So right now this DC server is being connected here. Let's wait. Let me connect to the domain here. So let me connect to a user account here. So right now you can able to see on the screen, we have a on-premises DCs in place. So right now you can able to see on the screen, we have a on-premises Active Directory is in place here. Means, let me take you into whiteboard here. I'm just trying to say a topic called AD Connect here. You can able to see you have a on-premises DCs being available. So this is your on-prem AD. It's been configured with the apple.com, and you have a cloud also. It's been available here. So right now I'm going to create a user account here. Let me give you a name called um, Sachin. Sachin is the one user account. I'm going to create it here. Let me go and create a user account called Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the user account I'm going to configure here. Now, let me create a user account Ronaldo in the on-premises server here. This is a AD configured with the operating system, configured with the Active Directory service. On top of that, Ronaldo is the user account. I'm going to create it here. Let me go back. Let me go to the server here. You may be able to see there is a user account screen is been here. Let me create a user account called Ronaldo. So, or we'll create, let me create Ronaldo is the user account. Ronaldo. Ronaldo. Ronaldo has been part of now apple.com, right? Right now has been part of apple.com. So in full body has been part of Al Nazar Club, but here has been part of apple.com here. So let me give a password also. Let me give it. Let me give a strong password. So we have given a user account for Ronaldo here. So Ronaldo has been user account has been created, and we have been created the details here. Just wait a minute. Let's wait a minute. Let me give you details here. So now Ronaldo has been connecting with the user account on in a cloud portal here. So right now Ronaldo has been created, user account has been created. Let me see how Ronaldo has been connected here. Let's wait. So right now the Ronaldo has been connected here, but in the user account properties, let me sign out and connect with Ronaldo's user account. Ronaldo at apple.com. That is the ID we have been created. So Ronaldo at apple.com, the ID I'm giving. But right now this you can able to see this has been not validating here. Right now the moment when you try to connect it here, you are getting a message here saying that this user account has been not available. This has been pointing to Apple site here. So the reason is been like the moment when you try to enter into portal.azure.com, the user account information, like the moment when you connect your portal here, you are not able to do a authentication. That is one point. And you may be noticed here in on-premises also, in a on-premises Active Directory. If you go to Ronaldo properties, you may be able to see there are many attribute or a security options are available here, right? Right now you can able to see account, profile, telephone, many attributes you can able to configure. And you may be able to see on-premises DC was supporting a group policy kind of some additional security tool also. But when you go back to Azure portal, Azure Active Directory, Azure Active Directory is not supporting this kind of a properties or attributes. For example, like if I'm selecting a user here, if you go to a user properties, you may be not able to see all these kind of options here, right? Attributes or permissions is being limited here. Now the customer is saying like, hey boss, you need to use the existing attributes currently it's been available on the organization, and we cannot use the we have to use the existing properties on in the portal, because you need to have an existing portal on in the uh, Azure side. So this kind of option needs to be configured on in the cloud side. Now, how this has been possible here? So, so technically the customer want to use existing on-premises AD for your authentication. So that is the requirements customer is having, right? He want to use the existing AD or existing a portal. So only that needs to be used for a communicating here. So how this has been possible here? So this is possible with the help of a concept called AD Connect. So there is a tool we can use it on in a Azure. It's called AD Connect. So AD Connect is the software or is a tool we'll use. With the help of a AD Connect tool, you can able to synchronize between your on-premises and your cloud infrastructure. What I'm trying to say here is like, in case if you have any solution is been available on in a cloud, in case if you want to synchronize with you Microsoft portal, basically this is a model we are basically known as a hybrid connectivity. In case if you want to do any kind of a communication or a connection, that generally done with the help of AD Connect. Now this is an MSI file which you can able to download from a Microsoft portal. With the help of that, you can able to configure here. But a couple of points you need to remember here. This AD Connect software, you cannot install directly on a DC where your on-premises AD DS is been configured. That is been not recommended. And this been not is going to install it on in a cloud also. So technically you need to have a mediatory snippet. So generally we'll be taking another server. So we'll be having another server we need to take it. So we'll be taking another server called Windows Server 2012. So basically you need to have a server with a version 2012 or a later version is being needed. So basically you need to have a minimum operating system of Windows Server 2012. On top of that, you need to install a operating system with a 2012 and you need to install the software here. You need to install the software here. So AD Connect software, you need to install it here. Before doing this one, three action needs to be performed from your side. The first thing is been like this server needs to be added as a member server or part of this domain. Once this server is been ready, you need to add as part of this domain. That is the first action you need to do. Second one, it's been like you need to have a two admin details to be available. For example, like if you want to configure it here, you need to have a two details is being required. One, it's been like you need to have a global admin power. You need to have a global admin power. So sorry, so global admin for from the Azure side, you need to have a global admin power details is needed. So you need to have a user account which got a global admin power. So the moment when you try to connect it, so where you're going to synchronize here, you are going to synchronize with a cloud here. So the moment when you're trying to connect it to a cloud, so this need details needs to be synchronized there. So for pushing that details to a cloud, you need to have a user account which got an access on a global admin, which got a permission to update it there. So you need to have a user account which got a global admin power. So the moment when you connect to a cloud, so you need to have a global admin power is being needed. Second thing, this side, you need to have a for connecting from where you're going to pull this information. You are going to pull the information from the domain here, right? You are going to configure it from an on-premises ADDS. So you need to have an enterprise admin details or enterprise admin power also needed. So enterprise admin has been available on in on-premises. From there, you can able to pull this information. So you need to have an enterprise admin. So basically, you need to have a two user account information is needed. One is been like you need to have a user who got an enterprise admin and you need to have a global admin where you're going to push the server. So these are the two information is needed. Third one, it's been like you need to ensure that this has been running with a minimum Windows Server 12 or latest version. Exactly, Najmuddin. In the ADDS, you need to have a global admin and an IAM user live. You need to have a contributor role, or it's been like you need to have a global admin power is needed. You're right, Najmuddin. Agree with your point. Now, let's see how practically this has been working here. Right now, we have a server is been available, right? Right? We have a server is been configured here, and the currently the server which has been running on our portal or in the VM, or it's been currently it's been running on our portal is been DC server. So this is the server currently we have here. So you have a you have a DC server is been available here. Now DC server has been connected into. I'll be configuring a additional member server here. I'll be installing a member server. So let me give a member server name is a AD Connect server. Any name you can give for our understanding. Let's give a server name is called AD Connect here. So let me go back to portal here. So we have a, let me go and install a AD Connect server here. Let me go to the portal here. Let's wait. Right now you can able to see there is a DC server is already in place here. Now let me create a new VM. I'm just creating a VM called AD Connect. Let me create it on the same server. Let me create it AD Connect. Let me connect it. So yeah. Right now, let me configure it here. Let me create it. Right now, the VM creation is in progress. Right now, the deployment. Right now, you can able to see you have a option has been available. So right now, you can able to see there is a deployment has been available here. Like you can able to see there is a deployment is in progress here. So deployment is on AD Connect is been available here. Right now, you can able to see there is a AD Connect software has been or AD Connect VM has been created here. So you can able to see VM has been configured. Right now, you can able to see the VM has been created. So VM has been created here. It's called AD Connect. So let's wait for that. Right now, you can able to see AD Connect is here. Let me connect to this server here. Now, right now, what we have done, it's been like for configuring AD Connect software, a VM has been configured. Now that VM we are going to be add as part of your server here. So technically you can able to see here. So we have a, let me take into whiteboard here now. So the two action we have been completed now here. Your DC server is in live now. A user account Ronaldo is being created now. We have configured a member server now. Now we are going to add part of this domain now. So we are going to add part of this domain right away here. Now we'll take a break, and after a break, a couple of action will be doing. One is been like you will be adding this as a part of this domain. Then we'll be installing a AD Connect software, and we will be connecting to the cloud Active Directory, and we are going to synchronize here. So two action will be performing after a break. One is like a synchronization of a options here. So we'll take a 5 minutes break and we'll come back. And after a break, we'll be going through the option of how to configure a deconnect option on in a cloud scenario here. So let me put the screen on the clock here. So let's take a 5 minutes break. I hope all are back. So if yes, can you comment it on the chat window? So Rakesh, you need to confirm through the chat window if you're back. Great. So right now we have configured a AD Connect server here. Now we are trying to synchronize your on-premises server with a cloud infrastructure. So for doing this one, let me take you into a AD Connect server here. Right now this server is been acting as a individual server. So I need to add part of your domain here where you want from where you want to configure from the server. I need to configure it here. So let me go back to the portal here. Let me AD Connect. So let me go to a portal here. Let me connect it. Let me give the username and password. So what are the details is let me, yeah, I have a public IP address. Let me copy here. You may be able to see here. We are able to connect to the server here. Let's wait. So let me connect to the portal here. Let me go to the portal here and let me connect it. Now, let me add this server is been part of your domain now. Let me go to the properties here. Let me connect to part of this domain now. Let's wait. Let me go to my computer properties. Go to the settings here. Let me add part of apple.com here. You may get a error message because since my DNS has been not configured here, DNS has been configured, but your VNet has been pointing to Azure server here. Right now you can able to see AD Connect or a DC server. For example, like if you take this AD Connect server, this AD Connect has been part of your virtual network here, right? So you can able to see this has been part of a cloud batch here. Now, if you select this network here, if you go to the DNS server, DNS server has been it's been using a Azure provided one. So it's been not using a local DNS server. See, this has been using a Azure provider one. Now, in case if you're planning to have any DNS on in a Microsoft portal, there are multiple way we can able to configure. If you take a DNS concept on in a Microsoft Azure, one it's been like you have a by default Azure default DNS is been by default is been configured. So the moment when you created a VNet on in Azure, by default there is a Azure default DNS is by automatically it's been created. That's the first method. Second method it's been like in case if you want to use a local DNS server, for example, right now you'll be seeing like you have created a apple.com instead of using a dot on microsoft.com or X or Y name, you want to use some customized name, then that kind of a situation, you can able to use something called a local server. You can able to create a local server. With the help of a local server, you can able to use it. So local server can be configured there. So with the help of that local server, you can able to configure here. But the moment when you are configuring a local DNS server, in your VNet properties, right now you have been seeing like in a VNet properties, you have to mention IP address of that local DNS server. So the moment when you connect to a portal, so the moment when the user has been trying to connect it. So the DNS queries, like you may be already aware that iterative query or a recursive query, that query we are informing to VNet saying that no need to send to a Azure default one. Please ensure that that has been sent to the local one. So that the reason we have been selecting an option code in a local one here. So with the help of a local one, you can able to configure it. So you can able to use existing one, or you can able to configure on in a portal itself, and you can able to use in a local DNS server also here. So you can able to configure local DNS server, but the point here it's like you may have to use a VNet option in the VNet properties. You may have to point this one into a local DNS server. Other than that, you have an option for configuring something called a public DNS zone, and you have an option for configuring a private DNS zone also. So in case if from a GoDaddy site, if you want to configure something, you can have an option for configuring a public DNS zone. So technically, if you're taking a Microsoft Azure portal, multiple ways DNS can be configured on any client in a server. One it's been like a local DNS server. Local DNS server means that right now we have done like you have taken a VM. On top of that, you have configured a DNS that has been configured here. So you can able to assign that server IP address here. So I forgot the IP address of my DC server here. Let me go and get the IP address of my DC server here. So I think 10.0.5 or a 6. Uh, yes, it's 4. So IP address is 4. So let me go to virtual network here. Now in the AD connect properties, in the virtual network card properties, no, sorry, virtual network properties, let me configure my DNS server is being local DNS server. So I'm just saying no need to go to a client. This is my server here. So I'm just given my local DNS server here. Let me save it. Once you have saved this network, we may have to reboot all the VM part of that server here. So let me go to the all the VMs here. Let me reboot one by one. Let me reboot AD Connect, sorry, DZ server first. Let me restart. Let me restart all the VM one by one because we have to do that. We have to reboot that. So let's wait. Let's wait a few minutes. Right now the DC server is being rebooted here. Let me reboot rest of the servers also. VM3 also let me reboot. Let me reboot AD Connect as well. Let me reboot all the servers. Right now the restarting is in progress here, so that you can able to see here on the notification area. So let's wait. So it's been configured here. Let me connect to the AD connects over here. Let me connect to RDP. So over here, let's wait. Right now, let me go to properties of the AD connect. So let's RDP has been connecting. Let's wait. It's been connecting to the server here. So we have connected to the AD connect server here. Let me go to my computer. Let me go to the properties here and add into part of this domain. Let me go to change settings. Trying to connect to the domain here. Wait a few minutes. Saying that it's not able to identify it. So let me do one thing. Let me go back to LAN properties. Let's wait a minute. Server has been got disconnected. Let me reconnect it. Server is not able to take a remote desktop here. Look like some issue, technical issue we are facing with the AD connect server here. Let me go to DC server now. Let's give me a second. Let me connect to the DC server here because I'm not able to AD connect not able to connect to the server. So there is some connectivity issue we're facing. So we're just trying to sort it out that DC server has been connected. Like let me go to DNS. We go to servers here. Okay. So right now you can able to see. So we have been, I think screen got disconnected. So let me re-enter this over here. So I'm just updating all the records, everything here. Okay. And if you go to the virtual network also has been pointing to the same DNS server here. It's been pointing to 10.0.0.4. But we have faced some issues for AD connect server. Let me try to connect it again. Restart and try again. In case if this is not working, I'll go for implementing another one. Now we are getting a parallel, we are getting a question on in the chat. Is there any possibility to do a site to site or VPN between a different Azure zone? Yes, we can able to do that. Even though if you have a VM has been hosted in different zones, we can able to do that. So this can be done with the help of a portals.azure.com or a CLI or a PowerShell. You can able to do that. So you need to have a VPN gateway to be configured. So you can able to do this. Now, in case if you want a step-by-step procedure, I'm just pasting this step-by-step procedure on the chat also. So Alfred, this is the step-by-step procedure for you. In case if you want to configure, you can able to use this one. This is the step you can able to use it here. Site-to-site VPN or express route. Najmuddin, answering to your question, when you are considering VPN solution on in a cloud, there are three ways it's been used to configure. One is P2S, point to site, site to site, and express route. So site to site is through internet, through a IPsec we are using. Express route means that you need to have a partner edge server is needed. It's basically we need a help from a ASP, sorry, ISP. With the help of ISP, you can able to configure that. So you have an option of a site to site, and both the option is been available. Three option is been available, one in a cloud. So you have an option of both site to site and express route as well. Now, Najmuddin, if you want to write the, if you want a lecture note for a site to site, this is the details for you. So you can, this is the important point. You can, this is a site, Najmuddin, this is the details for you, site to site. And for express route, this is a few information for you. two details. If you want, you can bookmark these details, express route and set to sites. Now let me connect to AD Connect. AD Connect look like it's been got corrupted or it's been having some issues been coming. I'm not able to connect it. So I'm having to create another server here. So I don't have time to troubleshoot that one. So let me create a new server. Let me connect. It's like AD Connect to. Give me a second. Review and create. So right now the VM for AD Connect is being recreating because we face some VM issue. Let's wait. There's an unexpected technical issue we have been faced. So let's wait. Validation has been completed. I'll be given create. Let's deployment. Let's start. Let's wait. Let's wait for this deployment to complete here. We are trying to connect a mediator server for right now the server is been. AD Connect has been ready here. Let me connect to that server. I'm just connecting to RDP to the server here now. Hope this will work. Right now it's been connected to this server here. Let's try to connect to the server. Look like some issue with the server has been happened. So in the previously, so hope this will sort out this one. Let me go to my computer now and see. Let me add into domain. Apple.com is the domain name we have been given for your DC. Still, it's not allowing. Let's check it. Is the next kind of a connectivity issue. Look like this is not able to communicate to that server. That is the issue we have here. So we need to just go and find out why this issue has been coming. It's not communicating. Let me go to the server. Look like something has been blocking on in the cloud side. So temporarily, let me disable the firewall there. Let's wait. Right now, let me some firewall has been configured yet. So let me temporarily let me block this. Till your AD connect and DZ's communication is not coming. That is the issue we are facing. Both are on the same network, but not sure which issue is being coming. Let me go to the properties. Cloud batch, the same VNet only we have connected this. Let me go to AD connect. AD connect also has been connected to. Look like this has been connected to a different VNet here. Right now you may, so issue has been different here. The reason it's been like why the communication is not coming, because if you can able to see here, this has been connected to cloud batch VNet, but your DC has been hosted in a different virtual network. See, this has been configured in a different virtual network. So that is the issue here, because you have a, no, it's not a problem with the routing. It's not a problem with the firewall here. Technically, if you can able to see here, we have a couple of virtual network has been created here. Right now you can able to see here. See, you may be able to see there is a batch 1 and a batch 2 is here. See, you have a two batches, two virtual network is been here. So if you take a Microsoft Azure networking scenario, by default, if you're taking a network, for example, like I'm just giving it scenario like a two or VNet scenario. One it's been like a prod VNet. Another one it's like you have a HR VNet. Now inside that you have a two subnet. One is a subnet A and another one is been subnet B. Inside that you created a VM1 and you have a VM2. In this subnet you have a subnet 3 and you have a subnet 4, and this HR also you have another computer. So if you take any Microsoft Azure network, by default, this is a thumb rule. By default, all the machine on in the same network will communicate each other. It can be any resource. If you have a multiple network, it's been configured here. All the subnet on in the same network, this will communicate each other. This will be applicable for between a subnet also. If you have a virtual network has been available, one subnet to another subnet, by default there is a communication. By default between all the resource which has been configured on a different subnet, that also will be communicate each other here. So we have a two subnet has been configured under a VNet. By default, this will communicate each other without any issue. But when it is coming on in a different network, which has been configured on in a same region, but this communication is being not allowed. That means one VNet to another VNet communication is being by default is not allowed. This will be applicable when it is coming on in a global perspective also. For example, like you have a another region is been available. For example, like in North Europe, here you have another VNet is been available. That's called a finance. So one region to another region also has been not available here. So that is a by default property. So right now you may be seeing you have a AD connect has been configured in one network, your DC has been available in another network. So since there is no default communication between one network to another network, this is not able to communicate each other because one VNet to another VNet, by default, the communication is been not available in the cloud. So that's the reason it's been like we are not able to communicate each other, or that the reason the system is been not allowing you to send a packet here. So this basically this kind of issues uh, if you're facing on in a customer place, especially like when you go back to your office, this kind of issues generally we used to configure with the help of a concept called a VNet peering. In case in your customer place or in your project, if you're facing this one, you have to enable a feature called a VNet peering. This basically configured in a two level. One it's been like it's been configured in region level, and another one it's been configured in a global level. For example, like right now we have a many members or participants is attending from different countries here. Now, Najmuddin, you are connected from where? Which country? I'm just giving example here. So Najmuddin, for example, like it's been connected from Najmuddin, from which country you've been connected? Ko, you connected from which country? Dubai. Najmuddin has been connected from UAE. So if Najmuddin is got another friend is in Dubai also. So like Najmuddin is this, and we have a Surag also. It's been connected from Dubai. So now they are domestic friends. They are made a friendship in the UAE country. Now I've been connected from India. So this is from a different geography, right? So if myself and Najmuddin are friends now, so we are global friends. Agree? Because we have been connected from a different region here, right? So we are a global friends. So what I'm trying to say here, it's like if you have a multiple VNet, it's configured on in the same region. For example, like you have a East to West. In the East to West itself, if you have a multiple VNet, for example, like a VNet 1, VNet 2, if you're making a friendship between these two or a trusting between these two within a region, if you're doing, I'm not saying about one region to another one, within a region, if you're doing that basically known as regional VNet peering. Clear? Now, let me give you one more scenario. For example, like I have another VNet also, it's been available on in the same network. For example, like a finance network. This, let me put in this way. This is Najmuddin. This is Surag. This is myself. Now, Najmuddin and Surag are friends. Surag and Robin is friends. Okay, so this is the connection. So Najmuddin and Surag is friends. Surag and myself is friends. So now my question is like, now this is the connection. So now my question is like, is it Najmuddin and Robin is friends now? Yes or no? Can you comment it on the chat? So the first case is been like Najmuddin and Surag are friends. Surag and Robin is friends. Now my question is, Najmuddin and Robin status, are they friends or not? So we are getting few comments on the chat, right? Ariel and Darren is. So that's all. You are a VNet expert now. You are a VNet peering expert now. That's all. So the problem is very, the solution is very simple. If one network has been paired or it's a paired with another one, this network has been paired to another PNet. That doesn't mean that this network to this network has been not paired each other. Clear? You are a VNet expert now. Okay. So there's a solution. You can keep it in your mind. So whenever we are going for in a VNet troubleshooting, so you are a peering expert, subject matter expert now. Now, if you're making a communication to another global one here, so that basically from one region to another network which has been hosted in another country, that basically known as global VNet peering. So this is very simple. Like in case if you want to make this a friendship here, so you need to just go to the VNet properties. Let me just go to a VNet properties here. In the VNet properties, you need to just go to a tab called settings. Right now, you may be able to see if you're selecting a VNet set properties, you need to go to an option called a peering option you will get. So in the peering option, you, which country or which network we need to do this one. So you can able to just give this name here and just add it here. That's all. So that the reason we are not able to communicate here. So we may have to rebuild or we may have to make a some communication here. Let me just check it. Let me go to the virtual network and let's try to see, are we able to communicate here or not? Just I may have to make some kind of a modification here. Let me see. I'm just giving some domain name here. Like there is some IP address issue also has been coming because both the VNet has been configured with a 10.0.0. So I cannot overlap here because there is a conflict has been coming. So we have to rebuild here because right now if you are taking a, both the VNet, both got the same IP range. So that is making a confusion here. So we may have to recreate your DC. You have to recreate your VNet also. So that is the roadblocks currently we have because both the VNet is being configured on in the same range here. So you will not be able to do a pairing here. So we cannot able to pair it here because both the VNet is being configured in the same range. So we may have to go for other options, routing kind of option, but right now this will not advised here. So we'll do one thing tomorrow. Today I'll recreate this one in the afternoon, and tomorrow morning we'll start with the AD Connect solution here. I'm just pausing here for taking a questions. This is some unexpected issues like a multiple VNet is involved, and that's making some communication issues here. So any questions? So thank you, team. I think we are good with today's topic. Now, any questions? So tomorrow we'll let me rebuild this server here. So it will take another half an hour. So better I'll make it the server or the lab ready for tomorrow's session. Tomorrow I'll start with AD Connect directly. No, no need to do a daily attendance sheet here. Okay. So over to you, Surak.
Thank you, Robin, for the day two of the C300 training, and I hope you guys have was able to grasp everything that we talked today. And the recording will be shortly available in the YouTube channel. And if any of you have joined first time for the day two, please do fill out the form. And yeah, that's it. I hope you will be joining tomorrow as well.
And I'll be sharing a
Thank you.
handout, and Surag will be uploading on in the portal also. That there is one AZ104 handout I'll give you so that you can upload it, so that people can able to go through that. That's in general administration. People can refer that. I'll send you that document because right now I'm not seeing any option for attaching here, so we'll upload it
Mhm.
on in the portal.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day.